I'm nervous, dude.
I genuinely don't know what to do. So we can't say, bang, welcome back to Teen Finance. We can't.
No, it's like, hey, welcome to the first.
Well, okay,
episode.
you know what? Nah. When it's not the first episode, we'll be able to go, hey, welcome back to Back of the Envelope, which is tough.
Yeah, but as of now, we can't.
Welcome to the first official episode of Back of the Envelope. You guys spoke and we listened. It was a decisive victory for Back of the Envelope in the rebrand Instagram poll, and here we are. Here we are a month later, by the way.
Yeah,
Sorry
back
about
from our
that.
month and a half hiatus.
We took a slight unannounced, or no, we gave a warning, I think, right? We said, hey, we might miss a week.
Like, hey, finals are coming up.
Hey, finals are coming up. Or
Bye.
AP tests are coming up. We might miss a week, and it turned into over a month. So we missed like 4 weeks of uploads. We had AP tests, we had finals. We were finishing up the school year. A little bit too busy to be pumping out a podcast episode every week. But we are back, better than ever, under a new name, Back of the Envelope. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Maseo, how are you feeling about this all, man?
I don't know. I mean,
it was really sad. Just before this, we executed the rebrand, so we just changed everything, all like the socials, all that, to Boat Pod, Back of the Envelope.
Yeah. So when you guys all go to make sure right now that you're following and subscribe to us, you'll see.
Yeah, everyone. Now it's more important than ever. So we'll get into this in a second, but more important than ever that you go follow Boat Pod on all socials, and subscribe and follow and review all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we're back. We're rebranded. Teen Finance is not completely dead. So we'll get into our methodology. So like basically, Teen Finance was the name that. Funny story how it actually started. Maseo and I, back in, I want to say it was 2021 or 2020 or something, like a couple years
2020,
back.
Dude.
We started some Instagram theme pages, and we had a collection. We had like a car one. We had a PC news and leaks was like the big one. So this was right when like there was all the graphics card shortages and everyone's like buying new GPUs and all of that.
And we had daily PC memes.
Daily PC memes.
I was running that one. We had like a couple hundred followers on there. That one actually kind of took a lot of work. I had the handcraft.
I mean, yeah, daily PC memes and PC news and leaks were the big ones. But we were like, all right, let's start a business finance one too. And that's where Teen Finance was born, actually. It was Teen Finance USA.
Yeah, it was.
And that was the theme page. And then we go to create a podcast like a year later or something. And we want to do like a business podcast. And we just were so dry on names that we picked Teen Finance. And I think picking Teen Finance as our name was so important for our early growth, because this is like the main reason why we're struggling to separate with Teen Finance. The search engine optimization on that name is crazy. We landed so many guests and probably like listeners just by having our podcast named Teen Finance. Because if you want to learn about finance for teens, you search up Teen Finance, and we would come up. So killer SEO. We don't have that anymore. We'll try to optimize it more so we get back up to that level. But we think Back of the Envelope is a far more fitting name. So for those of you who don't know what that saying means, like a back of the envelope calculation is a quick calculation that you just jot down on the back of an envelope, also called back of a napkin or something like that.
It's back of a napkin, yeah.
It's a quick calculation that you jot down. And we feel like that perfectly explains almost everything on this podcast. Everything's like half baked. All the business ideas are just like quick, not fully like thought out. I think it's a good descriptor. It's kind of like, and also like a lot of business ideas are done like back of the napkin. Have you seen like Glass Onion? What you call it?
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah. What is the series called?
Netflix original?
No. The first one wasn't. Knives Out, Glass Onion. Knives Out, Glass Onion. The whole premise is there's like a business plan written on the back of a napkin. So similar enough. We think it's a more fitting name. We think it's a more professional name. Every time people would be like, "Oh, you have a podcast? What's it called?" And I'd say Teen Finance. I'd die a little bit inside. So now we don't have that anymore.
Yeah, me too.
And now Maseo and I can continue this podcast past the age of 19. So we don't have that 2-year expiration date hanging over our heads. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
The podcast is so the rebrand. Also, we wanted to do the rebrand at some point that wasn't too far in the future. So we wanted to kind of ride this teen finance SEO for a while, but we didn't want to get everyone so attached to the name of teen finance. And so we didn't want to change it too late. We didn't want to build a whole brand based on teen finance and go too far to the point where it's hard to switch, you know? So change it now. Teen finance, we decided, will be a segment from now on. So a lot of you guys have been telling us that we need to do more like hard finance skills, how to apply for a credit card, how to start. We've touched on this, but more specifics on like how to start investing as a teen, how to all that kind of stuff. And that will be a segment that we'll do like every other episode or something called Teen Finance, and we'll just clip that, make short form stuff out of it. And that segment will be called Teen Finance because that's literally Teen Finance. The rest of the time, it's going to be what you know and love. It's going to be the half-baked business ideas, us talking about the news, all that kind of stuff. Minnow Tank's here to stay. Yes, that's what I have to say. So what do you?
That's us.
Well, I haven't given you a chance to speak.
And I'm definitely happy that it's just like I feel like we're more marketable now. Like, like when someone used to ask me about my podcast, I'm in a group setting and go,
"Oh my gosh, this is so bad, dude." I'm not gonna lie. It's a San Pellegrino blood orange. No, it's 0 calories. It just tastes weird, man.
It just tastes like aspartame or something. Or is it just juice? I mean,
it's like it's not. It's like somewhere. It tastes like flat. It tastes like flat bubble water. But it has that weird blood orange aftertaste, but not all the way. It doesn't taste all the way blood orange. It's like halfway there, which is just an awkward place for blood orange to hang out. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of rebrands, dude, I wanted to talk about this. I thought this would be the perfect segment about timing a rebrand and stuff. And speaking of bubbly drinks in a can,
Starry.
We talked about Starry. I don't think we've realized this since, and we've talked about this plenty. But I don't think we've talked about this on the podcast. When we first talked about Starry, we were like, yo, new kid on the block, dude, this is sick. They have cool branding. Starry is Sierra Mist, dude. It is Sierra Mist. It's literally new. Sierra Mist. We were like, oh, we're so dumb. On that one episode where we talked about this, we go,
I know.
Oh my gosh, dude. How come Pepsi never released a lemon lime soda? It was only Dr. Pepper had 7-Up and Coca-Cola had Sprite. How come Pepsi never released theirs?
I know, and I was like, what does it taste like? What does it taste like? And
Sierra Mist. They just revived their lemon lime soda so hard. I totally forgotten that Sierra Mist even existed, dude.
Dude, because like I realized I was at Costco, right? And I was walking, like I was like in the food court, and I watched the guy switching the like little labels. Like, I literally watched it happen. I watched him pull out Sierra Mist and put in Starry. I was like, wait, that's what Sam was talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I looked it up and I walked out, and it just said like Sierra Mist has rebranded to Starry.
Talk about the greatest rebrand of all time. I think that one goes down in the books as the greatest rebrand of all time. Because
Whoa. Have you seen Teen Finance, the boat?
I mean, okay. So there's like Sierra Mist to Starry, and then there's like Teen Finance to boat. It's a good second. Okay. It's Sierra Mist to Starry is a good second. Impressive stuff, dude. I've only been buying. Look at what I have in my recycling here. Bro,
you had some. It looks tastier though.
This is so much better than whatever Sierra Mist had, dude.
Does it say with natural flavoring on it?
So they changed it slightly. I think they changed the recipe like a tiny bit, but it's essentially the same thing.
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, dude. I love the branding.
Yeah.
Maybe
We
we copy
rebranded.
them.
We're new.
No.
No.
Yeah. So that's the rebranding news. Enjoy it. New website coming soon. Also, that we're gonna hook up with the Chimp Typhoon website. So it'll either be like boat.chimptyphoon.com or just boatpod.com. Not sure. We'll figure that out. Besides that, am I missing anything big about the rebrand that we need to talk about?
No. Boat pod, teen fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it. I mean, just kind of
So
checking in with you guys.
no
Honestly,
team
if you hate the
finance.
name, let us know.
Yeah, let us know
I
if the
mean,
name sucks. Even though you guys voted to change it. It was like 60-40 though. It wasn't a blowout, but it was a solid
no, it
win. And then
wasn't.
we the tiebreaker, even though it wasn't a tie, was that we talked to the boys at Chim Typhoon, and it was a unanimous
Well,
switch
our
to vote.
owners, of course.
So
So
yeah, our presenters, you know.
our
Um
sponsors. Who,
so yeah, that's that. Real quick, I know that this was supposed to mainly just be the announcement and the hey, we're back after a 1 month hiatus. Next episode will be full back into the swing of things. We have the good thing about taking a break for a month is that the little like stash of all of the things that we can talk about like grows a lot. Nothing's getting taken out of it. So
that's so true.
the next few episodes will be loaded. But one thing that I want to talk about that is uh time reliant. What's the word I'm looking for?
What? Time sensitive? I don't.
Time sensitive. That's it. Thank you. One thing that is time sensitive, that has an expiration date on it is the debt ceiling. We kind of real quick. This
Woo.
is teen finance. This is teen finance. Okay, we're getting into the teen finance segment now. Debt ceiling. You guys have probably heard all about this. I'm not gonna do a super detailed explanation because I think there are a lot of YouTube videos that can do a better job. But essentially, everything in our financial system revolves around U.S. debt and us paying back our debt. So the United States, you know, when you go and watch like a old video by like Dave Ramsey or something on how you should comprise your investment portfolio, and he says go buy a ton of mutual funds and bonds. Bonds always comes up. It's like, oh, put 10% of your portfolio in bonds. Bonds aren't
so
just
boring.
For the US government. You can buy bonds and like companies and stuff. It's basically you're giving them a loan. You're giving a company a loan, right? Essentially.
Yep.
When you're buying a stock,
that's pretty much all it is.
yeah. When you're buying a stock, you're buying part of a company. You're buying a share in that company, and you make a profit by the value of the company going up. Or getting a dividend or something like that. When you buy a bond, you're literally giving a company a loan. There is no risk with a bond. You get a fixed interest rate. That's not true. There is risk. I'm going to explain that in a second. But basically, like a stock, you don't know where it's going to go. A bond, it's preset that you're going to get X% a year. But because that's a guarantee, again, talk about that in a second. It's lower. So it depends, but bonds go from, it fluctuates, but from like 2-3% up to like 8 probably is getting really high. So the United States government is seen as the most reliable what am I trying to say? Debtor. You're a loaner, and the United States is a debtor in that case, right? Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Borrower.
I guess.
I don't.
Borrower.
Basically, the United States is the most reliable borrower. The United States has never defaulted on its debt, so it's never failed to pay back people that have gotten bonds.
Because capitalism.
In 2011, it's so basically like there's like credit bureaus that give different things ratings. The United States had a AAA rating for the longest time, which is as high as you can get, the most reliable you can get. Until it slipped in 2011 when there's another debt ceiling crisis, and because like Congress wasn't able to figure their stuff out, one of the big creditor reliability ranking things like dropped it to an AA, which is one below like a AAA. But still ridiculous. They never failed to pay anyone back. Other companies that are really reliable, like Microsoft, is AAA. I think they've never failed to pay back their debts. So those ones that are really, really reliable have lower interest rates. If you went to like Tesla a couple years ago or something, you know, maybe it's like a B or like a BB or like a C or something like that. You'll get paid way more on your bond because it's less reliable. So you get paid a higher interest rate. So you need to find, if when you're buying bonds, you need to find how much risk you're willing to take. But if you plan on holding cash for a long period of time or something like that, but you don't want to invest because you think it's too risky, like just buy a bond, because the United States is like for hundreds of years has paid back its debts. That's why this debt ceiling thing is making news, because basically it was a June 1st deadline. If the United States didn't raise its debt ceiling, so how the United States pays back its debt, the most common way the US pays back its debt is partially through tax dollars, but most of the time it's by taking on more debt. Sound like a Ponzi scheme? Kind of, because it kind of is. But yeah, that's how they pay back their debt. The United States sells more bonds, and then they bring in more debt, so then they can pay back people who need interest on their bonds. What a default would mean is that because we have this thing called the debt ceiling, which is like 31 trillion or something like that, we aren't allowed to issue any more bonds and take on more debt past that. We are the only country with a debt ceiling. Not Denmark has a debt ceiling, but it's like so high that they're never even going to hit it. But we're essentially the only country with a debt ceiling. When you hit that, you can't issue any more bonds. And when you can't issue any more bonds, that means you can't pay back your investors, which means that you're defaulting on your debt, which means that all of a sudden you're not that reliable anymore, which basically sends the whole economy into a panic, would crash the stock market, would make, probably 4 or 5%, maybe even more percent of all the people in the United States lose their jobs. It would essentially send us into another recession near 2008 and 1929. So bad, basically. That's why you're hearing headlines about it. The thing is, we were never going to default. I don't know why people were fear-mongering. My friend, who I'm not going to name, but if you really want to know who it was the first guest that ever came on this podcast. We're playing catch at baseball, we're going. He's like, "Yo, Sam, when are you gonna sell your stocks, bro? Dude, you have to sell your stocks. We're gonna default, dude." Yeah, dude, the debt ceiling, dude. Oh my gosh. So we're just like playing catch, and this bro is like, "Dude, you gotta sell everything." I'm like, dude, there's zero chance we're going to default. Here's why. If Kevin McCarthy and Joe Biden didn't reach an agreement and we didn't get something passed through Congress, a compromise to raise the debt ceiling and avoid a default, those guys would be out of their job so fast. If politicians send the whole country into an avoidable recession, that's going to piss people off enough to the point where like everyone in Congress is going to have their career lost, So that was never going to happen as of today, right? This morning?
I think so.
This morning, Biden
it would have been the weekend. So yeah,
I think it was this morning. Biden and McCarthy reached an agreement. So there had been the panic for a couple of weeks. This morning, an agreement was reached. Now it's just getting it through Congress. But it's going to raise the debt ceiling. It's going to increase defense. It's so funny. What's funny is that the whole thing was that like the Democrats wanted to just like close tax loopholes and increase like taxes on like rich people and big companies, and the GOP didn't want to. They wanted to reduce expenses, and part of what the GOP got was increased defense spending, because reducing reducing expenses is good if it's from Medicare and Social Security and school systems and stuff like that. But if it's defense, now we got to raise that. So more defense spending. Maybe some tax things are getting closed. I'm not even sure. I didn't look into it a ton. It's like what you'd expect. They met somewhere in the middle. Now it's just getting it through Congress, which if Congress doesn't pass it and we default, basically, we're not going to default. Congress should pass this. If not, the 3 backup plans that people kind of talked about were one, the $1 trillion token, or the $1 trillion coin or whatever, which is basically a thing. It's like back in the US Constitution or in like one of the founding documents. What do you have?
Oh my God. Well, the military's massive budget actually allowed for me to have this. This is essentially by the
Maseo has just been
millions.
saying that he has like, what is it?
Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, he's the Declaration.
Oh,
Bro, the whole
it's
time.
not. It's in a blur, but here's this beauty.
The whole time, this bro's been like, "Yo, Sam, guess what I have, man?"
There's John Hancock right there.
That's fire. He
And
has
the
a fire
back,
signature.
It's an ad for the Marines.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, they had sent this to me.
You joining?
Well, you see, they offered me a free duffel bag if I enroll now.
Oh,
so,
how do I sign up?
like it's actually not even a duffel bag. It's like a little string bag. But
increased defense spending, you might get
this is
not
the
rock
budget
hard
right
mattress.
here.
No,
This is nice paper.
that is fire. That's
this
what
is not
the
cheap.
defense spending is going.
This is
to,
not cheap right here.
So the three backup plans. It was one, the $1 trillion coin. One of the founding documents said that the president could issue a $1 trillion coin and give it to like the Federal Reserve or the Treasury or something, or like a coin of any denomination. So you would just make it $1 trillion, and that would like
Really?
technically give the Federal Reserve or the Treasury enough money to like pay out debt, because it's like, and they can issue like one coin of infinite denomination for like some certain reason. I don't know the details of it. That one's iffy, you know. What was the other one? I remember the last one, the most likely one. What was the other one? The premium bonds. That's what I was forgetting. Okay, so it's basically like that U.S. could issue like a new type of bond where they could basically like extend a bond out. They could offer really like high, like an 8% interest rate or something, for people to like not like basically like jack up the price of bonds and make more people want to buy bonds that already exist. So not issuing new bonds, but like taking back old ones and immediately like putting them back on the market or something. Again, something that's more unprecedented. What you need to know is the main backup would be using the 14th Amendment, which basically says that the 14th Amendment is one of the ones that came after the Civil War. But in it was something that said the validity of the public debt shall not be questioned if it's like important to like the security of the state. And what this could argue is that the debt ceiling is unconstitutional. And what would happen if we didn't reach an agreement is Biden would probably just keep taking on debt and argue that it's unconstitutional to have a debt ceiling, and then you'd send it to the Supreme Court and hope that the Supreme Court like votes to eliminate the debt ceiling, which they'd probably have to avoid going into a recession. Even though the Supreme Court is all Republicans, they'd probably need to do that in order to not like collapse the economy. So, we still might have a Supreme Court case talking about the 14th Amendment in the future, because after this whole debacle, people might want to be like, oh, let's get rid of the debt ceiling. People might finally be over it. But yeah, that would be the backup plan. Probably just keep taking on debt. So, yeah, basically you don't have much to worry about. There's so much fear mongering going around right now. And
yeah,
I'd say highly likely. I'd say, I give it a 5% chance, maybe, that we default.
Yeah.
If we don't, that'd be a crazy. That if we do, that would be a massive L.
Be a great episode.
Economy crashing, teen finance. No, back of the envelope. Let's do some boat calculations, man.
How to keep your family in your home.
This is so sad. No, I wasn't even thinking that, bro. I was saying it'd be sad that I missed the shot. I would lose my credit.
Buy puts on the S&P 500. This is financial advice.
This is financial advice. Yeah. All right. That's it for this episode. Mark your calendars for next week. The boat will be back with a traditional,
a true episode,
a traditional teen finance, but now boat episode.
Teen finance style.
we got Minnow. We got to have so much dumb stuff to talk about next time. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
It's good to be back, man.
We're back.
For then how long until you think we miss another episode?
I feel like we got the summer done.
We got the whole summer. I think we have most of the start school finals week of first semester, maybe.
Wait, what? Don't
College
we do
application,
college
college
apps in
application
November,
deadline.
right?
We're gonna miss an
That
upload.
that's gonna be us.
Not
But
bad.
until November, you guys will be seeing us consistently.
Boat out.
Boat out.
We're keeping marker calendars, but we need like another thing. Boat out.
Sail. Well, we at least something with sailing, like
Boat setting sail. Boat leaving the dock. Boat. Help me out here.
Help me out here.
I like boat out.
Boat out.
Boat out. Pound
Boat
it,
out,
noggin.
dude.
See ya.